Articulation and Feedback Scenario 3. Articulation Practice and Feedback. Students in Mrs. Taylor's Math 103 Survey of Mathematics course are required as a class activity to calculate the interest on a loan. The workplace capability for the course is financial literacy. For a class during which Mrs. Taylor teaches students about calculating interest, she includes in her plan for that day an opportunity for her students to practice and then talk about this topic. Her objective is to give students practice with this math skill and help them to see the value of the skill to their own lives, as well as the importance of the workplace capability for the course, financial literacy. With that objective in mind, Mrs. Taylor follows her plan to teach the skill and involve students in practice, through a set of word problems, in calculating interest on a loan. The students complete one word problem as a class to check for understanding of Mrs. Taylor's instruction, the next two working with a partner to gain confidence in their ability to use the skill, and several more working alone to demonstrate their ability to use the skill or identify a need for coaching. Mrs. Taylor facilitates brief opportunities for articulation and feedback at several points during the practice activity, approximately 10 minutes of discussion time. After Mrs. Taylor has provided instruction and several examples for calculating interest, she asks her class of 22 students to read a word problem that involves a recent associate's degree graduate who just started his first job in his career field. He wants to calculate the interest on his student loan. She walks the class step by step through the calculation, drawing the answer for each step from the students. After the class arrives at the answer, she poses two questions for them to consider and discuss with a partner for approximately 3 minutes. What part or parts of the process can you clarify for each other? What is the value of being able to calculate the interest on a student loan? Mrs. Taylor moves around the room providing verbal feedback on what she hears said in as many pairs as she can get to in the 3-minute conversation time. She notes good comments and asks why questions to prompt students to clarify and offer more detail for what they said. Mrs. Taylor now provides the class with 2 more word problems related to calculating interest on a loan. She directs the pairs to complete the 2 problems together, giving them 5 minutes to complete the 2 problems. She again goes from pair to pair, offering feedback on their progress and answering their questions with questions rather than answers to help them work through the process steps. Next, she assigns students to work individually on several additional problems about calculating interest, check their answers with a partner, then reflect on these 3 questions and discuss them with a partner. Why might your ability to calculate interest on a loan be seen as valuable by an employer, regardless of your career field? What's the connection between being able to do this math skill and being able to deal confidently with financial issues? Why would financial literacy be an important competency to have? She again moves around the room providing verbal feedback on what she hears said, now going first to the groups she missed previously. She continues to note good comments and ask why questions to prompt students to clarify and offer more detail for what they said. She also takes note of some good comments to have students share with the class. At this point, Mrs. Taylor asks several students to share their comments with the class, and she summarizes what she heard as she moved around the room. Please reflect on the following questions. Number 1. How did the instructor use a discussion strategy to ensure that the workplace capability assigned to the course was incorporated into the content of the course? Number 2. What techniques or strategies did the instructor use that you could use in your own courses to ensure that students had opportunities to develop their ability to articulate workplace readiness?